Hello, I am Avery or Hazel or Kylie,
Hello, I am Lily.
and I am figuratively dying. Today
Hmm.
we are covering Love, Simon. Welcome to From the Closet. Uh, I said that in the wrong order, but whatever,
Who cares about order? Order
right?
schmorder.
Speaking of order schmorter, spinning the wheel now to determine what we cover next week. And it's The Parent Trap, and it's going to be the one from the 60s. Not the
Hmm.
one with Lindsay Lohan, which I believe was from the 90s. We will cover that one eventually.
Hey,
Um,
another movie that we put on when we originally started the podcast.
and Lily's going to enjoy this one too because it's another romance movie.
Mother. Okay, I'm good. We good.
Yeah, fun. Like, Lily apparently does not like romance movies, as I have learned.
Like, okay, half of them don't even make sense. Uh, I'm gonna wait to talk more about it because we haven't gone past the spoiler territory.
Yeah, okay, but to be fair, love does not make sense a lot of the time.
I Fair enough. Still, though,
Yeah.
like at least to me, and I've been single forever, so I guess I don't have the best understanding of it. But like, come on, I have like everything I want to say about this movie, at least about some of the stuff. I want to say issue, but some stuff I've been thinking about just with the love aspect, like just ready to go.
Yeah. So, okay, so join us tomorrow for Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated Season 1. You can join us next week for The Parent Trap, the original version, aka the worst version, and something else. We'll find out what that is in that episode. And with that out of the way, this movie will contain spoilers for Simon. Oh, shit, I was about to say the book title. This movie will contain spoilers for Love, Simon. And I guess also Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda.
Wait, that was the book title?
Yes.
Hmm.
The people behind this movie, understandably and rightly, thought that was too long of a name for the movie.
Honestly, yeah. You know who should be learning from that? Whoever made the Percy Jackson movie.
Hey, both were Fox, and this movie came later.
I know, but like, have you seen that goddamn title?
Yes. But yeah, okay, so with that out of the way, spoilers for this movie coming in three, two, one, it's Bram.
Okay, now we're past this. Um, First of all, and I actually had to look up when this movie was released just to be sure. Who the hell is using freaking emails to text each other like back and forth in 2018?
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. When was the book released? I actually don't know.
Oh, right.
Because,
Because this is a book, they have to be accurate to the book. Okay, I guess that was, until I know when the book released, that is. I'll say
yeah,
that.
but like even then, I don't think, most people are using emails to message each other like that. You're certainly not falling in love through emails.
It's
I
true,
can
yeah.
speak from experience. I can speak from experience and say that like I have, you know, met people online and I started really liking them like before I ever saw their face, but certainly never before I learned their name.
Huh. 2015 is when the book released. Can't escape me today. So yeah,
Yeah, and there's like 3 or 4 books apparently. I've only read the first one. And then there's the Love Victor show, which I guess we'll go ahead and put out there now. Um, I think Love Victor is entertaining. It is nowhere near as good as Love Simon in my eyes, but it's a very fun watch. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to cover it because it is a Hulu original and Lily does not have
uh,
Hulu.
how many seasons?
3 right now. I don't know if it's still ongoing.
Hmm. I mean, there is, like, if we really want to cover just a lot of stuff on Hulu, I can just redeem, like, a free trial and we can just go ham for an entire, month, week, whatever.
Yeah, I think you get a month, but I wouldn't know for sure. They may only do a week free trial, and if that's the case, that'd be
Yeah,
really rough.
that'd be way too short, but it was a month, then what I just suggested is possible.
Yeah. Because like in a week we could maybe only get like 4 episodes recorded, and that's assuming I don't record an episode of the special project that we still can't talk about.
Wait, when is this episode being released?
I mean, this episode is okay. Hold on, let me look. This is being released on the 29th.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if this project is going to be fully ready by then because I want to be an episode ahead before I release the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
Okay.
just
That's what
leave
I,
that. We'll just leave that there for now. But yeah, Love Victor is currently out of the cards for now. But I actually put this movie on the wheel pretty much at the start of this podcast, and at that time I didn't even know about Love Victor.
I
But I also
remember
didn't
you,
feel it was worth removing
hmm,
Love Simon from the wheel.
I remember you, texting me as like, yeah, I may or may not have been binging Love Victor. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I spent all day yesterday watching Love Victor, and I'm like partway through season 2 already.
Really? Wait, what, like, where does it take place? Like, when does it take place, I guess?
It still takes place in Creekwood,
Mm-hmm.
but like Simon, Leah, and Abby, and Bram, and all them, they've already graduated, and I don't know where Leah and Abby are or Nick, but Simon and Bram moved to New York. We do get to see them in the show, but for like 1 episode, and Simon's voice is there a lot
Hmm.
because Victor and Simon are exchanging text messages, and Simon's like giving Victor advice and stuff.
I swear to God, are they still using email?
No, they are using text messages.
Okay, finally.
You know, SMS, which is also becoming quickly outdated.
Okay, that's becoming quickly outdated. But, like, email, text, like, usually think of email as business spam, business related, spam related, scam related, not
To
texting your
be
friend related.
okay, to be fair, okay, so this book came out in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to blame this on an out of touch adult. Like, okay, I'm not saying this as an insult to Becky Albertelli, but it is a little bit out of touch because like I'm sure her generation did use email to talk to each
Yeah,
other. I know that was a common thing that used to happen.
they probably
But
also use the
that's
fax machine.
we still use fax machines in 2022, Lily.
Yeah, but isn't like back in those days every household had a fax machine?
I don't think so.
Hmm. I don't know. I remember I wanted to come in contact with this business, but it only had their phone number, like their address, phone number, and fax machine. I remember saying, "Oh, you have a fax machine, but you don't have a goddamn email."
I mean, typically, I think people would go to like their local libraries or something to
Mhm.
fax something. But yeah, we're not talking about the movie much, so I want to talk about this movie
Okay.
because this was a big deal. Like, obviously, there have been like gay and lesbian romance movies before, but none on this scale. And no, okay, this is being put out by a major movie studio. This is 20th Century Fox, who, granted, they've been absorbed into Disney now and are 20th Century Studios, but at the time they were a major movie studio that were kind of like that were independent from the Disney umbrella.
Okay.
And
I'm actually
go
gonna let you
ahead.
finish. I'm gonna let you finish that because mine is super off topic.
Okay, so like this is a not only a gay romance story, it's also a coming of age. It's a teenage romance story. And importantly, it only got a PG-13 rating. If this were an indie film, I don't have faith that the MPAA wouldn't have rated it, would not have given it an A R rating because the MPAA is biased against indie films.
Okay, so you said that 20th Century Fox made this movie, right?
Yes,
It's just a random thing that popped in my head. Have they made any movies about foxes?
maybe, I don't know.
Hmm. I know what I'm
But
researching after the podcast.
so like I really love this movie for like like the amount of success this movie got is insane, but I do want to vent a little something because
Hmm.
I wanted to see this movie in theaters, but I didn't get to. And in order to explain why, I have to sort of explain how movie theaters make their money. It's not just, oh, concessions. Movie theaters are contractually obligated to screen a movie for 1 week, and most of the profits from ticket sales for that 1 week go back to like the people behind the movie.
This is why you hear people make such a big deal about opening weekend. That's because the most money going to the studio is from the opening weekend.
It's more of like the whole
Yeah.
first 7 days just in general. But yeah, so typically, when the movie theater is making profits, it's either on concessions or on ticket sales after that first week. Because most of the profits after the first week go to the movie theater.
Um.
My local theater screened this movie for 1 week,
Then
and
toss
that
it
was
out.
it. Yeah, they tossed it out. And like, I can't say that they were homophobic because this is Alabama, and they probably figured it wouldn't turn that much of a profit for them.
Yeah, I remember talking about this a while back. it's the industry. You have to decide whether a movie is worth it. You put up a brand new movie, you'd want to expect it to last a while because the first, opening 7 days, you're losing money on a movie that you could have, been saving.
Yeah. Side note, this is also why Marvel movies tend to stick around in the theater for like a month, whereas other movies will get like 2 or 3 weeks.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's a
because the theaters know that they can make money off of Marvel movies 2 3 weeks, even a month after the movie is already like the movie came out.
business is a big numbers game, and I would argue that one of the biggest is movies. Like, when do you pull a movie? When do you keep a movie airing? This is all things you would have to consider.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't say I blame the theater for pulling it, but I mean, now I own the movie in 4K, so
Suck it, movie theater.
yeah. But uh, oh my god,
Hmm.
I feel like I have to sneeze right now.
Oh, that's the worst. Are you
But
good?
yeah, I hope I'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really love this movie. I will say, I have two issues with this movie that are like I contemplated giving it a 10 out of 10. I really did, but it's not going to get that because there are two big issues with this movie that I have.
Hmm. I'd
Number
love to hear
one,
them.
Number one, there is a homophobic slur literally within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
I thought you'd
You
mention that,
automatically, yeah,
and
you,
I feel the same way. That actually, I wanted to see when the movie was released. Is like, how passable is this? Was this before it was deemed, a slur and whatnot? And I was very
oh no, it's
surprised.
always been a slur,
Well,
but
like
just
in the
not
public
everybody knew
eye,
it.
and I was very surprised when I saw it. It was 2018, a time where I'd at least be sure that a lot of people knew, this is bad word. Don't say bad word.
I mean, in fairness, it is realistic. Like you
That
can,
is realist. Yeah.
yeah, like you, as a LGBT person, you can expect to hear that word at least once um, in real life used against you. Um, and it's horrible that that's the reality we live in, but it just is.
And what was the
But I
other
feel
one?
like you can tell a great story without having to use slurs at all. And this is one that's like, it didn't need to be in the movie. Like, if you're not paying attention, you don't even notice it.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Honest, like, I noticed it clear as day, but I can also see, like, you could easily miss it as well.
yeah. Like you take your eyes off the screen for a second and you're not paying attention.
Boom! It's already gone. You missed it.
Yeah, like it was a background character saying it anyway.
I'm a little bit glad that it only happened once, though.
Yeah, and that's the reason that that only takes 1 point off for me. But the
Hmm.
other thing I have an issue with is the scene between Simon and his little sister when she finds out that he's gay. This
Hmm.
interaction went down so differently in the book.
Oh,
Like,
really?
it was genuinely a very, very wholesome and very sweet interaction, and actually brought me to tears when I read it. Simon was absolutely not a dick to his sister at all, and the movie does not give him enough credit.
I guess the movie would rather build tension in this scene than do the book. I'm actually a bit interested. So you only told me to watch the cinema therapy. Is there not a book to movie adaptation video on this?
Typically the series that we like to just to give viewers context. Typically, the series that we like to watch for book to movie adaptations is a series by Dominic Noble called Lost in Adaptation.
Hmm.
There is not one for this movie, and I did not feel like scouring YouTube for a good one.
Okay. So you're gonna have to be the expert on the book
Yeah.
because,
The
I
book
mean,
is more or less the same, but there are slight differences. Like the book actually starts with, it starts with the conversation between Martin and Simon about it starts with the blackmail.
okay. Okay, let's get into that blackmail because, oh my god, I've never seen a more dickish person.
I have.
Okay, then.
But yeah, Martin, absolutely an ass. He got a little bit of redemption at the end. Not enough to forgive to truly atone for everything he's done, but at least he did something right at the end.
Something right for once in his life. Like, oh my god. He is a mess up of a person.
But also, I do want to say, the scene with him and Abby at the Waffle House. I think that was a good moment for him too. Yes, he was still blackmailing Simon then, but I don't know. I've seen a lot of guys try to tear down girls' self-esteem
Hmm.
and somehow get them to be with them, and I I never understood
Logic
men.
does not connect.
Yeah, but props to him for going the complete opposite direction and actually trying to build up her self-esteem.
Even if he was doing probably not, I wouldn't say the worst. There's worse things that you can do, but blackmail is definitely up there.
Yeah, blackmail. Okay, and let's address some other people's complaints about this movie. The main complaint I see people having about this movie is the Simon's friends, and saying that they were assholes. And I'm like, no, I don't agree with you at all. I saw somebody saying that they
Hmm.
basically abandoned him when he needed them most. That's not true. If you pay attention to the movie explicitly says he avoided them. It very clearly says that. They are understandably upset about everything going on.
Hmm.
And the complaint that they make it all about themselves, they're teenagers. When you're that age, everything is about you.
That is very true. Honestly, like when I heard you say that, I thought um it was gonna be more of a mention on what happened earlier in the movie, especially when the first email got leaked, and then it's like, wonder who this is. What a terrible. person, like, imagine being gay.
But instead, like most people, like when he was outed, most people were like supportive. You can like even see messages coming through on like his phone and computer of like people
Mhm.
being supportive. But then you get these two guys who show up like in the cafeteria, and I mean, you've seen the movie, you know what they did.
Of course, I know what they did.
I mean, I wasn't just talking to you, more
Yeah.
the people listening as well. And it's like I fucking love that teacher when she just comes in and absolutely destroys them. Hilarious.
It was one of the peak moments in this movie.
As well as like another peak moment in the movie showing like his friends coming out as straight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was. I actually want to say that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, that
That.
like that scene was hilarious, especially that one bit where like Abby says I like men and her mom says you get that from your daddy's side.
I like the pure ridiculousness of that is that they're telling their straight parents that they're straight, and their reaction is just golden.
Yes. Oh Jesus. And I mean it really highlights how ridiculous it is that gay people have to come out. Like, you know, obviously trans people will always have to come out because
Hmm.
like if we don't, like how are we going to be able to like expect people to call us by a different name and pronouns if we literally never tell them to?
That I expect all my friends to be able to read my mind and then gender me correctly.
Yeah, see, exactly. It's like it's never going to be a situation where trans people don't have to come out. But I hope that someday, like, we get to a point where, like, lesbian, gay people, bi people, pan, and so on, like, I hope we get to a day where that's not a thing anymore. And it's just, you know, oh, your daughter brought home a girl? Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I never really came out, not in a formal sense. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm bi. Am I gonna bring back someone? No, I'm single forever.
I mean, we've talked about it before about, like, how, like, have you settled on the demisexual label, or are you still like considering it?
I think I'm generally um settled on that, though more of a on a lower end than most people that I've seen, but definitely still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not demisexual. I am gray sexual, but like
Mhm.
as far as like the romantic side of things go, I'm certainly not anywhere on the aromantic spectrum. Um, but yeah, I think like you know, even though like I am a bisexual trans woman, like this movie is still relatable to me because like you know I've had to deal with the struggle of being afraid to come out, and like unfortunately like Simon, I didn't have parents that were going to be supportive. Like my father is supportive, but I never lived with him, and
Mhm.
the people that I grew up with, they don't support me, and it's been really difficult, and they still insist on dead naming me.
I guess I can consider myself a little bit like Simon because, well, I mean, I had that, liberal parents. But, for that one reason or another, it took me a long time to actually come out to them.
Yeah. And I mean, hell, I think it took you longer than Simon because
Mhm.
Simon came out when he was 17. And I think you were 18, right?
Actually, was I 7? Oh god, I cannot. No, yeah, no, I must have been 17.
Also, just a side note on the age thing. There's this moment in the movie where Simon comments that like Ethan has been out since he was 16, and like he makes that sound like it was so long ago, and I'm like, it's been 1 year. Which, I guess when you're a teenager, 1 year feels like a long time. But I mean, as a 25-year-old, 1 year is pretty much nothing anymore to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in that phase of where a year is just forever. It's never ending.
Like, it does not feel like it's been 7 years, six, seven. It's 2022. 6 years since I graduated high school. Like, it just doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Hmm.
And I'm still having to kind of get used to the fact that, like, it feels like years are shorter.
Yeah. No, I feel like once,
Although
like,
2020, that was a long year.
no, it feels like to me, actually living, it feels like years are so long, and then remembering it back is like, what? That feels like yesterday. It was 2 years ago.
I mean,
Yeah,
can you
no.
believe this podcast is pretty much a year old at this point? I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of us recording this, we've been doing it for a year, but in terms of actual releases, it won't be until August where we've been doing it for a year.
I mean, October.
Did I not say October?
You said August.
Motherfucker. Like, I literally had October in my brain.
For a split second, I
But
was like, wait, is it this month, August?
but yeah, also, fuck, I forgot to mention it. I probably should have said this earlier. You can watch this movie on Hulu. I have no idea what kind of plan you need to have to watch it because it wasn't available on my Hulu plan. And also, it's currently free on Amazon Prime Video for some reason.
Yeah, it feels like some videos that we just land on the wheel. It's just free on Prime Video also.
Yeah, and then also, there will be a link below to purchase this movie or rent it. Which, funny enough, those options still show up for me, even though I already own the movie digitally.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. But do you want to buy it again?
No.
But why not? You can give us your money.
It's so dumb that it does that. But yeah,
Though, didn't you say you only
as
have it
far
on
as
like SD? I wonder if you can buy it like HD or
no,
Ultra
no,
HD.
I literally have SD, HD, and 4K.
Okay, then I have no other explanation.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know, gift it to your friends.
Some other like another minor thing that I have to say about like book versus movie, I think that like whether or not Leah liked Nick is a little bit more unclear in the book, and I feel like maybe she might have.
Hmm.
And they never really there was never an explicit statement that Leah liked Simon in the book from what I remember, but I read this last year, so
Yeah,
or maybe it was the year before. I don't know.
time is confusing.
Yeah. Um So there is that like angle there. Also, I think it's worth noting that like I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, but I believe I heard that during the filming of this movie, the actor who played Simon and the actress who played Leah were in a relationship. And
Hmm.
during that scene where like Leah sleeps over at Simon's house, they came very close to kissing a couple of times, and they actually told the director, if we kiss, you're using it.
Okay then.
It didn't happen, obviously, because
Yeah, that
it
never
didn't
happened.
appear in the movie. But yeah, like that was something I heard in the commentary, and obviously, like I can't rewatch the commentary because my Blu-ray, like the Blu-ray thing in my PS3 doesn't work.
Right, you need a new Blu-ray, something that can play Blu-ray.
Yeah, hopefully I can get a PS5 if Sony ever makes them available.
Avery. I thought we strayed from talking about mythical objects in this podcast. That's a lie, but I needed it for the joke.
It was a bad joke.
Oh, come on.
Okay, something I do really like about the romance aspect of this movie, and I've never seen another movie do this before,
Hmm.
is like making you think it's several different guys before finally revealing at the end who it actually is.
I did find that interesting.
Yeah, like that was a really cool aspect to it, and like it actually ended up being one of the guys that we suspected early on. Um, and like also the emails would be read in that guy's voice, so there was that angle too.
Hmm.
Also, the actor who plays Bram, we will be seeing him again. I don't know his name, but he is in The Flash, the TV
Oh,
show, the Arrowverse TV show. And we are going to cover the Arrowverse at some point. We still haven't quite 100% figure out how to do it
wait, there's also something I've been off topic completely. Why the hell is it called the Arrowverse?
because it started with Arrow.
Who the do they shoot with an arrow?
Yes,
Okay, end of questioning. That's all I need to know.
but yeah. So crap. There was tons of other shit I wanted to say about this movie. Fuck. And I'm trying to remember shit, and I can't because I'm too focused on my goddamn nose acting up for no reason. It was not acting up before the podcast.
Um, we're going to talk about how, like, some of the common criticism of the movie, or how it plays the, coming out in a more positive light than it actually is.
I I think cinema therapy pretty well covered that angle of it because like it's just like the guest on that show said that like it no two people have the same experience.
Hmm.
And like for some people, coming out can be like that. It obviously wasn't like that for me, but like at the same time, Uh, I'm gonna go a different angle with it. At the same time, like even though it wasn't like that for me, movies are supposed to be a fantasy. They are an escape. The coping mechanism. That's the word I'm looking for. They're a coping mechanism for many people.
Hmm. So
So to
maybe it's
have
a
so like I think it's fine. Like it's not meant to be a perfect reflection of real life. It's meant to be a story.
mhm. I think, yeah, well said.
Yeah, and like obviously, something that probably shouldn't have to be said, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Don't out people because it's probably not going to go as well as it did for Simon. And yes, I'm saying that went well
Yeah, I
because
mean,
relatively speaking, a whole lot worse could have happened, even here in the US.
also while we're at it, don't blackmail people, and especially not in that sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened to me too, but.
If you see other people's emails, just delete. Just wait, don't delete them. That's also rude. Log out of the
No, just
computer.
log out. Like, come on, use common sense, be a good person. But yeah, there's also a lot of jokes in this movie that like really kind of make me laugh, and then I'm like, oh, that didn't work. One in particular is when Bram shows up to his party dressed as post-presidency Barack Obama, and he says, "I'm hoping Trump doesn't destroy my legacy." He did. Yeah, he was. Not that there was much to begin with, but Trump was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. Um,
Oh no, we're going to get comments from our zero commenters.
yeah, I don't care. It's not often
Ours.
a president commits sedition, which is just a step below treason. Sorry, you automatically earn the title of worst president of history when you do that shit.
Will ever get comments? I'm not sure.
And like also, I think it's fair to say this because we're talking about a president who scaled back LGBT rights like several years.
That is
So
true,
no.
yeah.
So like no, fuck him.
Hell, he's also one of the main causes of why it's being threatened now, today.
Yeah. But I don't think we should go too much deeper into this because
I actually think we covered all the basics of the movie. What do you think?
no, I think I have some other comments. Okay.
Okay,
So
I'll let you have them.
I think the teacher is one of the greatest ever. Like funniest shit in the movie. Principal is kind of a bit
Principal
much.
was there.
Yeah, he was a bit much though. Like I don't know, dude. Like let kids text in the halls. What's the issue?
I think
Like
that's
as
how.
long as they aren't texting in class,
Mhm.
then it's fine.
So I think that's really how he was written. A bit much. That's basically his MO right there.
And then like okay, so we have several other, oh god, I just remembered so much about the family that I want to talk about. So I'll get to that in a minute. But like there's so much other stuff too with the principal, like just assuming that the one other out gay kid in the school is Simon's boyfriend. Like yeah, no. But also, you know, let's talk about Ethan for a second. Ethan, I don't know how to word this correctly. He's very good at comebacks.
Yeah,
Cause
that's
like he embarrasses people who are trying to be homophobic towards him. and it is quite hilarious to see. Can we get some hummus for that baby carrot?
Uh, great times, great times.
Yes. Also, when I initially watched this movie, I did not know about um, I did not know about referring to some gay men as bears, or know about the existence of the bear tribe. So originally on my first viewing, the a little birdie told me you're into bears. Initially, that joke flew over my head. I get that one now. That's still very awkward coming from Martin.
Yeah, I mean, I've always known it, though I feel like sometimes I've tried to forget it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the family. I have to talk about the family. Apparently, the line where his mom says, "You get to exhale now, Simon." Apparently, that line was improvised. Um, and like it makes sense because we had the earlier line about like, "Oh, these past few years, I can feel you holding your breath." Um, and like it's a really refreshing thing to hear, but also it really makes sense within the context of the story because she's a therapist, and I have no idea what their dad, like what Simon's dad does, but
Oh
um,
yeah,
also I'm not a hundred
professionally.
percent sure, but I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think the sister's name was Nora, so that's what I'm gonna call her. I don't know if they actually said it in the movie,
I don't remember. I mean, they had no reason to
but
say it
yeah,
because it's just, yeah, that's my sister. It's the sister, sister, sister. Like, no one really referred to her by her name, at least I can remember.
yeah, and definitely not something that was mentioned in the movie was like why the dog was named Bieber, because Simon's sister named the dog after Justin Bieber.
Okay, that's a bit funny.
But yeah, I think it's a really sweet moment there, and like I think that was I just think that was a great moment. Now the father, on the other hand, we got to talk about the father because the father is an interesting character.
We're just talking
So
about what he
obviously,
does, and I just think about it. It's like all we really see him do is try to make a video and put up Christmas lights.
there's a lot more we see him do, namely making jokes about gay people and just
Hmm.
assuming Simon is straight and also assuming Nora is straight. Um, which, to be fair, I don't know that she isn't, but like, this is one of those things where, like, it's sort of a cautionary tale. Like, you know, don't just, like, because you don't understand something, don't just assume that, everyone around you is not in that minority, and don't make jokes about them because you never know who you might be hurting.
It's
And it's
interesting
like
how he never
go ahead.
really. There's not much malice behind his words, but and you can actually see that a lot in today, where a lot of people don't know what they're doing when they say stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like just because you're not being malicious intentionally, that doesn't mean that what you're doing is okay.
It's
Like
true.
you get you're you're still hurting people when you make jokes like that. And like even if one of the people, like, even if none of the people are around you are LGBTQ, and you make a joke with, like, us as the butt of the joke, you don't know if one of their friends might be
Hmm.
LGBTQ, or one of their siblings, or hell,
I've
their partner could also be LGBT in some way, and you don't know.
I've actually been in that situation where people are making jokes about. It's always the same thing, the attack helicopter. I can be whatever gender I want to be, so I'm this random thing. Oh, but you can't say that thing because then you're gonna get canceled on Twitter. All of those jokes, and this is when I was still
Yeah,
closeted to at least my all my friends. Just saying a lot of that, all I could do is just keep quiet.
yeah, and like, the, also too, like, they only have one joke, it seems, because it's always a fucking attack helicopter every single time.
I haven't
But
seen
yeah,
a lot of the. Oh, you're gonna get canceled on Twitter. Don't say that. Like,
but yeah, like, it's just like cinema therapy said. Like, when Simon comes out, like, what you see, like, the dad's expression literally says it all. It's like he, in his mind, he's just running through all the stupid jokes that he's said in the past, and realizing that he's hurt his son, and then he tries to undercut the tension with another joke that's still not appropriate. And like, he realizes that he's hurting his son, and like, he doesn't know how to not do it, so he just gets up and walks away. Um, and like, that's very real too. Like, I've been there. Like, I'm the type of person where, like, when I say something and like I hurt someone, I have to get up and walk away for a bit. And like, yes, I will apologize a bit down the road, but I need to get away from the situation and clear my head, because like,
mhm.
it's just who I am. It's how I'm built. Like, I have to get away from the situation first.
Reapproach it with a clear mind is a strong
Yeah,
strategy.
exactly. And like, the scene later too, when like he's apologizing, and then he suggests that they should sign up for Grinder together.
Oh, oh, that's great. Oh, that was great.
It's Facebook for gay people.
No, it's not. That's what he said. But yeah, that was.
Okay, so before we end this, I do want to talk about Martin a little bit more.
Mhm.
I really, there's a moment during this blackmail where I'm like, oh, I really appreciate this movie for taking this approach to how they're handling it. And it's when Simon goes over to Martin's house, and
Mhm.
like, Simon's doing all these things to like try to essentially change Martin into someone who hopefully Abby will like, and then Martin just kind of stops him and's like, no, I want her to like me for me. Thank fucking God they avoid this stupid cliche bullshit we see in a lot of like movies and shows, where it's like, oh, fix the guy up so that he can get the girl. And obviously he doesn't end up getting the girl anyway, but like, not only is this, you know, dodging the cliche, but it's also sending a message out to, other teenagers, is that like, if they don't love you for you, then they're not worth it.
Mhm.
You
It's
should never have to change yourself for another person. Change yourself because you want to, for you.
yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, I want to talk about a scene when Martin tries to apologize for Simon, and Simon is so not ready for it. And in his position, I would not be either.
Oh,
And
hell no. I
yeah,
mean,
like I think even as an adult, I probably would have like decked him and left him unconscious on the road because it would have come to blows for me because like in reality outing someone can often be very very dangerous.
mhm.
Like I didn't come at like for me I didn't believe that I was safe if I came out while I was living with the people I grew up with. And even then it still took me years after I left that environment to tell the people who basically quote unquote raised me because I don't want to give them that credit. Um,
Hmm.
it took me
Honest,
years after moving out from under their roof in order for me to tell them.
honestly, I don't know if he actually mentioned it, but all those screenshots were on his phone, right?
Yeah,
Just deck his phone. Like, the moment he blast, just
yeah.
smash
Like
it. No
I thought
proof,
of
you
that.
got
Like
nothing.
I thought of that when like Martin first pulled out the phone, and I'm like, yeah, they probably could have done that, but this is probably a situation of like in the book it would have. They're probably you could have just assumed there was more space between them than what we actually see in the movie.
Mhm.
So that probably would not have worked. But in the movie, yeah, it's like they're close enough that he could easily just grab the phone and destroy it.
I just forget about grabbing the phone. I just, like, the way he was holding it, just like a downward push would definitely, with enough force, could definitely do some damage. A nice stomp afterwards, it's done for. Especially with
Yeah.
phones of this era, which would yeah, and I did not see a no
Okay.
case on
I'm
that
going to
phone.
correct you. I'm going to correct you.
Hmm.
iPhones and Samsungs of this era. A lot of the cheaper phones, for some reason, just tend to have way better durability. Um,
I mean, would it survive an absolute, knocking to the ground than a good just slam to the fit, boot slam?
well, okay. Look at it like this. How many times have I knocked my phone onto the ground during calls where we've been talking to each other?
Okay, fair enough. Though I don't know how far of a height that is.
My phone is barely cracked.
Hmm. Then again, I've had my like iPhone 7 for years now, and doesn't even have any dead pixels on it. Not really cracking or anything. I mean, there's scratches on it, but that's the worst it
Like
has.
there's no dead pixels on my phone either. Like literally the only thing that's wrong with it is the glass on top.
Hmm.
But yeah, so one other thing I do want to touch on, and this is probably the last thing I think I need to mention. It's that moment when Simon is like sort of confronting Martin about like you know it's sort of when the whole blackmail is being set up, and like Simon can't yet say out loud that he's gay. Like I felt that because I've been there. Um, both about being bi and about being trans. Like it was a struggle to tell people either of those things. And like
Yeah.
now I've gotten to the point where like me and some of my straight male friends, we can talk about girls, and me and my straight female friends, we can talk about guys. And then it was weird at first. And
Really,
people would go
because
silent for a few seconds, but I think now people are better with that sort of thing.
all I can talk to my friends about, like, hey, still single? Yep. Nice.
I mean, I'm single right now, so
I mean, a lot of talk to my friends, especially like one of the friends I go to most, like, not even they can ever think of themselves in a relationship. And at least for me, I want to be, but you know, imagining it is too far from my comprehension.
holy shit,
One
this is
hour
a long
episode.
one. Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely surprised. It is it's our second ever LGBTQ plus movie, and in my opinion, a significantly better one than "But I'm a Cheerleader."
That is true.
But yeah, I think with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start giving the critic ratings. So I'm just opening up my gallery where I've got it screenshotted, and here we go. IMDb gives this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 92%. Metacritic gives it a 72%, and 90% of Google users liked the movie.
I'm just gonna come right out 7.4.
That is way too low.
Honestly, like, I like the movie, I do, but this is also probably an exception to, you know, my mild distaste against romance movies. A lot of the movie was a little bit of a bore for me.
You also like probably okay. I feel like this part of my score is also reflecting the impact this movie had, just on a general scale for like acceptance. And it's like, because yes, movies like this are going to increase, um, they are going to increase public acceptance of LGBT people. Rainbow capitalism also kind of has that hidden benefit where it's like a lot of people hate rainbow capitalism, and I get it, I understand why. But seeing our symbols everywhere and seeing LGBT people being embraced by almost every corporation you can come across, it's helping some people realize that it's not such a bad thing. I do not think the benefits of rainbow capitalism outweigh the issues. I am not saying that. I am just saying that it does have some benefit. But with all that being said, I almost wanted to give this movie a 10 out of 10, as I said before. But honestly, the scene with Simon and Nora, I think that's her name, but I could still be wrong. That drags the movie down a whole 5 points for me because it's just so infuriating how they destroyed one of my favorite scenes in the book. And then I dock another point for the homophobic slur at the beginning. So this movie is getting a 9.4. It's still one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think it will probably stay that way for a while. certainly top 10, probably top 5.
Well,
But yeah, I go ahead. You were starting to
I
say
mean,
something.
really, just I guess we're done here.
Yeah, pretty much. So join us tomorrow for Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, and next week for The Parent Trap and something else we don't know yet. And yeah, until then, I've been Hazel. That's been Lily. And stop with the selfies. You're not all that.